The number one secret to losing fat and staying shredded for life is that there is no secret. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I'll tell people how to lose fat. They'll come to me, ask me for advice on like how to lose weight, how to get their six pack to show. And I pretty much tell them the same thing every single time, but it's like it goes in one ear and out the other because it's not new and sexy information. People think there has to be some sort of quick fix out there, and that's just not the case. Eat high protein, stick to a calorie deficit, get at least like 10,000 steps a day, or do like 30 minutes of zone 2 cardio, prioritize weight training, then you'll lose fat. There is absolutely no reason why you will not lose fat if you are doing those things. The main thing you need to be doing is a calorie deficit, of course. Like, there is no new information out there. The reason you are not losing weight, not losing fat, is simply because you are not in a deficit. It doesn't matter how much cardio you do, how healthy you feel like you're eating. If you are not in a calorie deficit, you are not going to lose the weight. That is the secret, that there is no secrets, and the basics are all you need to do, all you need to implement into your current life if you want to get shredded. There are no shortcuts, no fad diets, no black magic that's going to get you lean. And I know you've heard it a million times to the point where it probably doesn't even resonate with you. It doesn't even click anymore. And when you don't want to accept the truth, and the only truth, there is no answer for you. You know, you see all these guys on social media with the crazy physiques and you just think they're cheating somehow, know something you don't, but really at the end of the day, it just comes down to that they are just simply working harder than you. And they've been doing it for way longer than you. And there is no drug you can take to get you shredded. Yeah, the doctors can prescribe you stuff that will suppress your appetite, but what does that do for you? Suppressing your appetite makes it so you don't want to eat as much. Therefore, you're in a calorie deficit. It's that simple, guys. The drugs, the quick fixes out there are just quick fixes to put you into a fat loss state, I should say. Those drugs make it so people who can't lose weight can lose weight, because the reason they can't lose weight is simply because they don't have self-control and don't know how to be in a calorie deficit. That is what those drugs do. That puts them into a calorie deficit. So yes, they can help you lose weight, but are they a quick fix? No, they're not a quick fix. You still have the same fundamentals and basics still apply. I could make a whole video on how much I hate these I hate these anti-obesity drugs and how big pharma is just trying to get the money, but that's really just a whole side tangent, honestly. But anyways, there is no weight loss, there is no fat loss without a calorie deficit. A consistent calorie deficit over a long period of time, I should say. People don't like that answer because it's not sexy, it's not new, and they've heard it a million times. But there's a reason you've heard it a million times. It's because it works, and it's what you need to do in order to lose fat. And then whenever someone tells you to, do keto or do some sort of like unique diet or something, they get all excited because like, oh, it's new. And then they try keto and they lose a bunch of weight. Do you want to know why they lose a bunch of weight? It's because they completely cut out carbs altogether. That's an entire food group you are cutting out. What is that going to do for you? Put you in a calorie deficit. What's a calorie deficit going to do? Make you lose fat, make you lose weight. That is why people think a keto diet works. It's nothing special about to do with the diet. It's simply because it puts you into a calorie deficit. Are you starting to see the common theme here? I really hope you are. And the problem that most of you have is that your mindset. It's not that you aren't capable of losing the weight. It's that you have shiny object syndrome. Like, you just don't think the basics are what you need to do in order to get shredded, or get lean, I should say. Just lose your love handles. But look, man, I get it. You want to make up for lost time that you spent just sort of fucking off this entire year. It's almost June and you probably only lost a couple pounds, if any. And you're trying to make up for all those months in 2 weeks by finding some sort of quick fix to try to get you in shape. You're trying to find a quick fix to make up for the last 6 months you just spent just fucking off and not following your diet, not going to the gym consistently, not being in a calorie deficit, not tracking your macros. What you need to understand is that consistent action over a long period of time, just sticking to the basics, doing what works, is what's going to get you results. And when you see all these ripped guys on social media, it is simply because they have just stuck with it. And that's hard for you to believe because, oh man, there's no way they can work so hard. There's no way they can be so consistent. So you're going to try to project on them and try to say, oh, you just take gear. Oh, you just do this. You just do that. You just have good genetics. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying no one's on gear. Obviously people are. But what I am saying is that if you want to get in great shape, if you want to improve your physique, you have to be consistent and stick to the basics. It is that simple. I wish I could sit here and try to sell you some sort of new idea in order to get shredded, like an actual secret, but there just really is not one. If there was a quick fix that was easy, that made it easy and quick for people to get lean, people would not be obese. People would leverage that quick fix because no one likes being overweight. No one likes being unhealthy, feeling lethargic. And also the same goes for building muscle. Like when someone asks me, how do I get shoulders like yours? And I tell them like, it's literally what they would expect. Lateral raises, rear delt flies. That's basically it. I just do those for a long period of time, been consistent with it over the many years I've been training, and eventually shoulders just grow. Like that's just how it works. The only thing is I just stick with it, and I've stuck with it for many, many years. And that's what anyone with a great physique does. They just stick with it for a long period of time because they know what works. They stick to what works. They're sticking to a good diet, getting good sleep, training hard, getting their protein, doing everything they need to do in order to maximize muscle growth for a long period of time, for years and years. Like if you want to get stronger at a specific exercise, then just simply keep doing that exercise, and over, every 2 weeks or something, add 5 to 10 pounds to it. And over a long period of time, you're going to start seeing some significant strength gains. You might start from, I don't know, like 185 on bench for like 3 reps, but if you just consistently bench for a long period of time, adding a couple pounds or like 5 to 10 pounds every couple weeks, do that for a few years, dude, you'll be repping 275 eventually. That's all it comes down to: consistency over a long period of time and progressively getting better. Like when you are consistent over a long period of time, that is when you'll reap the benefits. And that's with anything in life: business, relationships, fitness, of course, and of course, fat loss too. Like if you want to get shredded, if you want to get your six pack, or even just get your love handles to show, you have to be consistent in a calorie deficit. And once the weight starts to plateau, decrease the calories by a little bit. It's that simple. Make sure you're tracking your calories, getting high protein, training hard, doing some cardio every day. You're good. You don't need to focus on trying to lose like 5 pounds a week. That's not sustainable, and you're just gonna end up binging and you're not getting anywhere. I've seen that all the time. You need to understand that you are sacrificing short-term pleasure in order to get long-term vision, to support your long-term vision, I should say. And that's what most people can't seem to grasp. They just work out for a couple weeks, don't see results, then go on social media and say anyone who is in great shape is on gear or is just doing something they don't know. It's not even funny how common that is. Like it's hard for you to genuinely grasp how someone is able to be so consistent for a long period of time and always just stick to the process. Some people might not agree with this next statement, but if you want to achieve great things, then you're gonna have to get rid of a balanced life. I'm not saying in order to get into shape, you can't have balance in your life, but if you want to get to like a top 1% physique, yeah, you're gonna have to make a lot of sacrifices. That's just the nature of the game. I know not everyone's trying to get to that level. Most people just want to, feel better in their skin and be lean, but that you can achieve through balance easily. You just got to make sure you're actually doing balance and not just fucking off all the time. That's a huge mistake a lot of people make. They think they're having balance, but what they're really doing is just partying all the time, trying to live their best life, living in the moment, and just completely neglecting their goals and calling that balance. That is not balance. Balance is a balance between working towards your goals and doing fun shit that you like to do. That is balance. And like for me, I've been in like total monk mode the last like five-ish months. I'm not talking to any girls. I'm not going to any parties. I'm not going out and doing like fun things or anything like that. I'm not cheating on my diet. I'm not sacrificing sleep. I'm not doing anything that's not going to help me better my physique or improve my business, personal brand, anything, or mindset, I should say. And I'm only doing things that are going to better me in those areas of my life right now. And it's just a season of my life where I'm just grinding. Like I'm not even close to where I want to accomplish my goals because I've only been in monk mode for like 5-6 months. Like I'm fortunate enough to have, for the fact that I genuinely enjoy like progressing and working towards my goals, because I know a lot of people really aren't. I mean, I think you can learn that skill to enjoy working and progressing at things, but it's just hard to do. I think I just sort of instilled those habits in myself at a very young age, and just kind of stuck with it. Like you can't expect to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out and expect to achieve things that 99% of men don't have. Like if you want what 99% of people don't have, you're gonna have to do what 99% of people do. For example, 92% of men do not have a six pack. So that means you're gonna have to do what 92% of men aren't willing to do. And the crazy thing is that it doesn't even take that long to get a six pack, like 4 to 6 months tops. I mean, it depends on where you're at, like what your current body fat level is and everything. But if you're doing everything right, 4 to 6 months is plenty of time to get a six pack. The reason you're not reaching your goals is because you're not willing to commit and make the sacrifices that you know you need to make. You need to understand that there are no quick fixes for this shit. It is just the basics over a long period of time, being consistent and not slacking off. That is how you get there. That is how anyone has gotten there. Doesn't matter about your genetics, where you grew up, what your race is, what your gender is, anything like that. The steps to get into shape are all the same for everyone. Yeah, genetics play a role to an extent, but that does not mean you still can't improve yourself. The real difference lies within how consistent people are. That is it. It is that simple. So that is the hack to getting in shape, that there is no hacks. I know it's not sexy, but it's what works, and why stray away from something that works? And it's proven. So keep that in your mind.